of the major problems that people have in this country is the problem of house deficit. Housing deficit is one issue that the federal government have been fighting, or should we say, it's not given a proper attention, because if you get into FCT, you see a lot of people looking for where to lay their head. More so that the prices of houses is nothing too easy to come by. Right here we are with an estate mogul. I call him an estate mogul because if I start reading out his profile, you will know why I actually called him that name.
Well, thank you very much once again. Hello viewers, my name is Nwoye Ogechi Samuel, Managing Director, Conqueror, Abode and Properties Limited. And we are situated right here in Suite 103, Cooper House, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja.
What is the first thing, that one will consider before you think of owning a property in Abuja?
Abuja is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. One of the most beautiful cities that everyone desires to own a property or live. But just like we advise, there are several things to note and consider while you are desirous of owning a property here in Abuja. As Abuja is beautiful, so do we still have things that happen in Abuja concerning properties that some people wouldn't want to have the experience. And one of the things you consider in Abuja while looking for a property is number one, you look out for the location. In Abuja, we have high-brow areas, we have average areas, we have a supposedly low-income areas. The location, while looking for a property in Abuja, location is the utmost important thing. Why? Because the location is directly proportional to your pockets. If you want a high-brow area, you can get it. If you want any area, you can get it. So while looking for a property, number one is location. And after location, number two is your budget, your pockets. Location depends on your pockets. So number one, you look out for a location that is commensurate with your pockets and your budgets. Number two, you see, having seen the location, you visit the site. I have a property in so and so place. Okay, can I go see it? Or can I send someone to go see it? You send someone, look it out for you. Then you ask questions concerning the area the property is situated in. So you don't start crying about demolition tomorrow. You look out for the layout plan of the area, general layout plan, not the layout plan of the estate. General layout plan. Understand whether this place, is it mapped out for estate development? Or is it a farmland converted to estate development, to estate development? Or is it a recreational carved out green area? You just have to be considerate. Take all those things into consideration while looking out for a property.
So where can those kind of investigations be made? Where do you think people can go to?
That leads me to the fourth consideration while looking for a house in Abuja.
Okay.
You see the documents, engage a property lawyer.
Okay.
You don't know anywhere in Abuja. If you know, you don't seem to know. You think you know. Then you engage a lawyer. When you go to where they call FCDA or Aegis to make search, you can only be able to do normal window search. But you can write through a lawyer and do a proper legal search. A proper legal search, which your supposed lawyer will advise you afterwards, will give you a few clues of what to expect in the near future concerning that property. The mistake people make here in Abuja is that one of their supposedly in-laws or friends that lives here talks to them about the property and they just jump into it, and afterwards they start crying foul, or they start crying foul. Get a lawyer. That it is just one of the most important things you do. If you are buying from estate developers like us, we also advise you get a lawyer. We are not saints. Nobody knows it all.
I actually want to talk about that because people have had experiences with estate developers who actually are not real developers, but then out to scam people. You know, there are a lot of people flaunting themselves these days. You know, you go to where they are staying looking very beautiful, you know, the packaging thing in Nigeria. But at the end of the day, you just get to know that these people are not genuine. If someone wants to get a house, what are the things that will make you know that this estate developer or maybe this realtor is genuine?
Thank you very much. We have real estate developers of Nigeria. In the whole Nigeria, we have FCT chapter. I am secretary, Nassarawa State chapter. When you want to get a property and you want to get it from an estate, you ask questions.
Okay.
Even if you want to get a property from FCA director, you ask questions. You do your individual research. We've had situations here where people come, peruse our documents, get some copies of it that we can release, and vanish. And afterwards, come back to tell us, yes, thank you. I think we have done all our verification and the documents are certified and genuine. We've had the situations with several persons, and that is what I advise people to do. Oftentimes, you don't even tell the real estate firm that you're going for a search.
You just go do a background
check.
Get
the document, do a thorough background check. Don't be deceived by the packagings of supposedly real estate developers. We have an association, a very rugged and beautiful one at that.
Okay.
We have REDAN seals, of which so many of those people that parade themselves as real estate developers also have. And that is the reason why I keep emphasizing on the fact that you should do an individual background check, which you as a person, you as a client may not be able to get all, except through a lawyer.
Okay, except you have a lawyer, you cannot do a legal check, or else they do what you call a window check.
You can do.
And the window check cannot be thorough. It's not going to be thorough.
You can do a check, but it is advisable. It is advisable to get a lawyer. Forget about the supposedly professional payment. I advise you as a real estate developer to get a lawyer. Someone came here the other day and made mention of a client desiring a property. We gave him a document. He went out, did a thorough check, came back with that client who had been here before. The client had been here before. And the lawyer came back with the supposed client. And the client was satisfied and business was done. He went out for a site inspection, checked out the property, and we did business.
Okay, but then, despite all of this, these things happen. But then, why is it that despite all of this, we still have cases of demolition? We've had several cases of demolition in FCT especially. Demolition happened in some part of Nigeria, yeah? Not just in Abuja. Why this demolition? Sometimes you see places being demolished, people's hard-earned money, properties being demolished without any form of compensation, without any form of notice, according to what they say. Sometimes the authorities may come out to say, well, they are duly informed, but the people will say, well, no prior information. What do you think about demolition generally, because you've been in the system?
I am one of the advocates of proper ground check. In one of our estates in Lube, where we call Conqueror's Cottage, I am sharing the fence, or we're sharing the fence with another estate firm who, from the layout, there is a road connecting our estate and theirs. And at the end of our own estate, the supposedly road had been blocked with a fence and houses erected. Now, when I got to FCDA, I made inquiries about what prompted that other estate to block that supposedly road, because I saw the road from the layout. And the guy said, and I said, if this guy can block his, that means I can get a location for this road and completely block it, since it has been blocked from the other end. And he said, don't try it because of tomorrow. He said, one of the years in the future, a supposedly minister who may not agree to a settlement, or a supposedly director for development control in that area who we insist on the proper layout plan, we bring a bulldozer, and no matter the amount of that money, of the cost of that building, bring it down.
And the occupants will suffer.
That's just the thing.
So in that situation now, that's the question I'm asking. Don't you think in that situation now, it is not the fault of the occupants because they may not have the layout plan? Okay, they may not have seen the layout plan, but then the demolition happened.
It is not the fault of the occupants. It is solely the fault
of the
developer.
The developer, yes, that's
who saw that, did one or two things to some one or two persons, and got that place blocked.
But the demolition will happen to people who acquire the property.
That demolition is different from the supposedly ones that you hear now. When that one happens, the supposedly developer should be held responsible. And that is actually why it is very, very pertinent for developers to look out at the layout plans and reject greed. One of the causes of this is greed.
Okay.
On sheer and unnecessary quest to amass wealth that will not influence the lives of people around you.
Okay.
And for me, it's useless.
All right, let's get to the next question that I want to ask now. There is housing deficit in Nigeria, in FCT, whether you like it or not. You go about, you see some estates. Nobody is even inside. You see empty estates, and you see people looking for houses. You know, people are there who are looking for houses. They don't have where to put their head. But there is an estate there, nobody's living inside. What do you think the federal government can do to reduce the problem of housing in Nigeria?
Thank you so very much. Estates in Abuja, estate development in Nigeria and in Abuja in particular, has somehow seemed and looked lucrative in quotes to several estate developers, to several persons who desires to be estate developers and has ventured into it. Now, coming to your questions proper, the federal government has so many roles to play in making housing affordable in Nigeria. Number one is to increase affordable housing options. They are supposed to collaborate with private developers. We private developers don't find it easy with the government, especially in the acquisition of property. And that is actually why you don't blame any real estate developer. The government don't seem to allocate properties directly to us. We source our properties and develop. And that doesn't come.
No wonder properties are so expensive in FCT.
No direct allocation to several individuals.
Because you're sourcing your pencil.
We source from all nooks and cranny, get everything that we're supposed to get, multiplied by how many that is not supposedly supposed to come, pay through our nose, and that is actually one of the reasons. So government should collaborate with genuine real estate developers with the effects of collaborating with them, giving them properties to do a mass housing development, real developers, not the other developers. Then number two, federal government should improve access to financing. It will be very difficult for you to go to a bank now to get a loan to develop a property without. Okay, currently I think I stand to be corrected that it is interest rates for several commercial banks is 27 point something% per annum. Minus small charges. You know Nigerian banks.
Sure. The hidden charges, you can take that
So
away.
when federal government makes accessing funding easy, that will be very, very beautiful. Then federal government should also concentrate on developing housing cooperatives. Maybe like you have okay, in one of my estates in Idu, we have National Arts Gallery property. It's a cooperative. Staffs of National Arts Gallery owning a property, getting a supposedly development plan, going to property development for approval, and commencing development on their own. So federal government should also concentrate on developing houses for cooperatives or federal government parastatals without solely depending on real estate developers. If you implement implementation of effective slum upgrading programs, we have areas where people don't seem to like when government channels some development towards that area and brings it to limelight, it will reduce concentration. Several persons who want to own a property and live in the heart of town. You understand what Abuja is like?
Yes.
Every evening you see people from Beggar going to as far as Massacre. Why? Because affordable housing is not in limelight here in town. They go to such places. I have seen people from here to Kwale every evening. So federal government
They come to work in Abuja, but they have to live at the certain
very
area,
far
very
where they can afford. But if federal government channels some government parastatals and organizations in such area, brings it to limelight, and it is a bit closer to so person working there, then all these things wouldn't be bothering on people.
But does the estate developers, do they have the opportunity to advise the government? Have there been any opportunity because you belong to REDAN? Okay, do you have any opportunity to advise the government on what to do? Or is that you've been talking to the government, the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and they seem not to be yielding to what you are telling them?
Well, I will talk to you on my capacity as an MD, or as the capacity of MD, Conqueror Abode Properties Limited. One of these days, you have the opportunity to interact with our national president, our national vice president, North Central, and the FCT chapter, who will tell you what they've been able to channel and present to the federal government. Number one, okay, recently, the FCT chapter of REDAN visited our amiable minister for FCT, Nwoye Ogechi, and they had an interactive, fruitful discussion. If such thing can continually happen, housing deficits will be curtailed and taken care of in Nigeria. And in that interactive section, some proposals were presented to the minister, who also obliged to.
That's good news.
And agreed to do one or two of their genuine biddings. And one of them is that thing I pointed out before about developers not getting direct allocation, genuine developers not getting direct allocation from the federal government. If genuine real estate developers can get direct allocations from the federal government, from FCTA or FCDA for mass housing, I bet you housing deficits in Nigeria, in Abuja in particular, will be reduced to the barest minimum.
Wow, I like that. Okay, thank you very much, the managing director, Conqueror. Well, I don't know, but then I think you spoke very well. It shows that you've been in the system. This is the MD of Conqueror Abode and Properties Limited, Abuja, Nigeria. Is also the secretary of REDAN, Nassarawa State Chapter. Yes. And of course, he has said so many valid things. Well, I think one of the things that interests me most is the ability to meet with the FCT minister, who is doing so much.
Yes.
But then he talked about demolition, the reason why houses have been demolished. He also talked about proper way to acquire properties in FCT and in Nigeria as a whole. A lot of people are novice to these things, but then thank God we are being educated. This is one of the things that Oweleketv does. We bring to you vital information. We educate the people, we educate the public on what to do and how to access so many things that should be beneficial to Nigerians. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for allowing us to pay you this visit today. It's a courtesy visit, and we are so excited that you welcome the media, because a lot of people who have things to hide don't want to be friends to the media.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
It is service to humanity.
That's right.
And that is the focal point and the driving force for Conqueror's Abode Properties Limited.
That's beautiful.
In as much as wealth amassing or quest for wealth, profit maximization is the sole aim of every business. The propelling factor for Conqueror's Abode Properties Limited and in all our properties and estates is humanity. What do we do to complement government's efforts to reducing and ameliorating the sufferings of people as it pertains to housing? And that is actually why when you signaled me about interview, I said, okay, this is service to humanity and making shelter a reality for all and sundry, no matter who you are, is our goal. And here at Conqueror Abode and Properties Limited, that is what we believe in, and that is what we are passionately pursuing.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
I think that's good. It's a good cause, and we wish you all the best. And we hope that we'll have so many other things to do together.
You're always welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Make sure you do the right thing to own property. Let greed not take the place. And you need to know who is a real estate developer, because a lot of people are flaunting themselves. Do your background check. Possibly, like he has said, try as much as possible to engage the legal means, engage a lawyer, so that everything will be properly done. And whatever the government say, you should know where to position your house and how you should go about all of this. Thank you very much and have a beautiful day. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Bye-bye for now.